Daddy. Happy Father's Day.
Again?
What's up, DSC gang? It's Kaden, and today I'm going to be making a cake. And my Uncle Ash and my Auntie Artie got me this premium baking kit with all this decoration stuff. And it inspired me to make a cake for my dad for Father's Day. So that's what I'm doing today. So let's move on to the video. Okay, so I measured everything out before I started. So if you see me looking here, I have my computer here with this website. I'm copying this YouTuber's she's a professional baker, but she has a YouTube channel, and we're gonna link her website and her YouTube channel in the description. So if you guys are ever making cakes for any events or just for you guys to eat, you guys could check it out. It's in the description box below. So all my ingredients. So this is 2.5 cups of flour. This is my 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. This is my 1 cup of whole milk. We have 4 eggs. Yeah, 4 eggs here. We have, sorry, some stuff is over here. We have the 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I measured it out and then I just poured it in here. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Then we have 2 sticks of butter. And then I have my sugar. This is 2 cups of sugar. And then my salt, but it's just 1 teaspoon of salt, so I'm just gonna measure it out when it comes time to use it. So now we're just gonna start. So I have this bowl and the stand mixer over here, and I'm gonna put everything in the bowl and then just put it on the stand mixer to whisk it because I'm not allowed to whisk that by hand. So I'm just gonna stand up now so that it's easier for me. Okay, so first it says preheat the oven to 350, which I already did. And now it says to put the flour, the baking powder, and the salt into a medium bowl. And the flour's already in a medium bowl, so I'm just gonna dump the baking powder. I'm gonna dump the baking powder into this bowl. Everything is already measured out, so it's easier for me. And then we have the salt, which we need 1 teaspoon of. 1.5 teaspoon, sorry. So that would be this one. So we're just gonna measure this out. 1/2 teaspoon. Sorry, you guys can't see my head because I want you guys to see the bowl. And now we're gonna whisk this together. And this is a whisk that came out of my baking kit. So now I'm just gonna whisk this up and then sift it into the silver bowl. I'm going to sift it into the silver bowl right here that goes on the stand mixer. So I'm just gonna turn you guys over here. So now I have the sifter and I'm gonna pour little by little because I don't trust myself doing it all at once. So there we have some of it, just a small bit in there. Just gonna whisk this over into the bowl. And I'll come back to you guys when it's all sifted. Alright, DSC gang, so I just finished sifting the flour, the baking powder, and the salt because it was all mixed together. So I just sifted it all and I put it back into the same bowl that the flour was already in. So we're just gonna put this to the side. So now it says to cream my butter, sugar, and my vanilla. So you also want the butter to be at room temperature. So now we're just gonna open the butter and put it into the pan. And it says, in a bowl with a stand mixer fitted with a paddle attachment, beat the butter, sugar, and vanilla on medium speed until light and fluffy, about 8 minutes. So this is room temperature, like I said. Butter. The other butter. And then we have the vanilla. And then we have the sugar. So I have the butter, sugar, and vanilla into the bowl. And now we're just gonna put it on this stand mixer. Just have to make sure the bowl is secured. And we're gonna put this down. And we're gonna put it on medium speed, but I'm gonna start with stir first. I'm gonna start with stir first so that I can get everything so that the sugar doesn't go everywhere. So we're gonna let this go for about 8 minutes and I'll come back to you guys. Alright, DSC gang, sorry about the audio, but it's the mixer. I have the butter, sugar, and vanilla in here, and it's all mixing together. It's a creaming actually, because it said to cream the butter and sugar for about 8 minutes, so I'm gonna let it go until it's light and fluffy. So I'm gonna let that go. Alright, DSC gang, so pro tip, as you go, make sure you clean up your area and get rid of all the bowls or utensils or whatever you're needing that you don't need. No, it's not stiff. Alright, DSC gang, so this is currently what it looks like, and it's all done. So now I'm just gonna scrape down the bowl, and then we're gonna move on to the next step. Alright, DSC gang, so now I'm just gonna scrape down the bowl, and if you're ever doing this recipe, you wanna do it until it's light and fluffy, which it looks like this now. So I'm just going in the palette, the whisk attachment, because you don't want to waste any of this beautiful stuff. And it's okay if you can't get all of it because you're not done making the cake yet. So now I'm going to scrape down the bowl. So now I'm just going to go clean off my hands, and then we're going to move on to the next step. So the next step to making this cake, it says add eggs 2 at a time, beat until each addition is incorporated before adding the next set. So now I'm just gonna crack the eggs into this bowl. So I'm just gonna crack them. That was a bad crack. A very bad crack. That was a really bad crack. I'm not very good at cracking eggs. Ooh, that was a good crack. So it's now time to add the eggs while it's mixing together. So I'm just gonna put the speed on 4 while I incorporate the eggs 2 at a time into the batter. Too fast. Now we're gonna add 2 at a time. BTW, I do have parent supervision. I did it, Mommy. I did it! Yes! So we're just gonna let this one incorporate. As you can see, I'm very happy that I did that. So we're just gonna let the 2 eggs that I just put in incorporate into the batter, and then I'm gonna add the next 2 eggs. Yes, I'm so happy that I did that. Okay, I'm still looking at, now I'm gonna add the next 2 eggs. This is so exciting. Okay, before I do that, I'm gonna scrape down the bowl because there's some like white mixture instead of egg mixture in the bottom. I'm just gonna take out this. Try not to get it on my hand. I'll be back once I do this. Scrape down the bowl, and now I'm just gonna let it go more since I just added, we'll mix in more because I just added the 4 eggs 2 at a time. It looks so good. No, actually it looks really good. For my first time baking a cake that's not box cake, I'm gonna say this is pretty good. So I come back to you guys when I'm doing the next step. See how, focus. Alright, DSC gang, so this is how my batter is turning out currently. It's not finished yet. We still have one step to do before we put the cake to bake in the oven. So this is now my favorite step, where earlier, you guys remember when I sifted the flour, baking powder, and the salt, sifted it, and then now this is how it looks. And then remember, I still didn't do anything with this milk. It says add the flour mixture in 4 parts, alternating with the milk in 3 parts, beating just until each addition is incorporated. Before adding the next, do not overmix. So I have this spoon right here that's gonna be doing the flour in 4 parts. So you're gonna start with, so I watched a couple videos before I started, and you're gonna wanna add the flour first because this is already like a slushy solution. So if you add the milk, it's not gonna be pretty. So now I'm just gonna add my first part of flour while this is mixing. So we're just gonna put it on 2 for now. Actually, no, we're gonna put it on stir. Wait until this is all incorporated, and then I'm gonna add milk. Alright, time to add the first part of milk. First part of milk. So I already added the first part of flour and the first part of milk. Now, the second part of flour. By the way, if you guys were wondering, I have it on 2 in between stir and 2. So that's how I have it. And I'm about to lock it so that it stays on. So now see, I can't lift it up. So nothing malfunctions. Like I said before, it's 4 parts flour and 3 parts milk. So now all my 4 parts of flour are in and all my 3 parts of milk are in. So I'm just gonna let this mix until everything is incorporated together, and then I'll come back to you guys. Alright, DFC gang, so I just let it go for a last test drive. So this is how it currently looks, and I'm very proud of myself. It looks delicious, and I wish you guys could smell this because it smells great. So now we're just gonna move on to the next step. The next step is step number 6. Scrape the batter into the pans, or into a pan or pans. In this case, I'm using 3 8-inch round pans. Bake until a toothpick inserted on the center and it comes out clean for about 45 minutes for 8-inch round pans, which is pans that I'm using. And you're gonna wanna rotate the pans halfway through. So now I'm gonna have my mom help me with this, and I'm gonna come back to you guys. Alright, DSC gang, so I have my 3 8-inch round pans that have the parchment paper. So now I'm going to take the batter and put it in here. And so now I have all 3 cake pans filled with batter. And keep in mind, the reason why I didn't fill them all the way to the top is because obviously they're gonna go inside of the oven. So now I'm just gonna tap them on the surface of the table to release any air that the cakes have in them. But it's gonna do it in the oven, but you just wanna give them a head start. Okay, DFC gang, so now I'm just gonna put them inside of the oven. Excuse the stuff on the stove. My mom is making dinner for my dad. And my oven is at 350 right now. Alright, DFC gang, so I'm just switching them from the top to the bottom. Okay, DFC gang, so now I'm gonna let the cakes bake for 45 minutes, and then I'm going to put like a knife or a toothpick or something in each 3 of the cakes to see if they're ready, and I'll come back to you guys. And so this is currently how the cakes are doing, and they're almost done. So yeah, they look good and they look delicious. The cakes are out of the oven and are cooling over here. So DFC gang, the cakes are all cooled and leveled, but I only decided to use 2 of the cakes because the third one, it crumbled and it got all messy, so we're just gonna use 2 and that's perfectly fine. So now we're gonna start with our Italian meringue buttercream. In a saucepan, boil the sugar and water at medium heat, which is going on the stove right now. Okay, so my egg whites are in here, and they're just sitting here because the sugar and water has to get to 230, and I'm going to test the temperature with this, and we're gonna wait it to get to 230, and then we're gonna start whisking the egg whites, and then when it gets to 240, we're gonna pour it in here so it can start cooking the egg whites. Alright, DFC gang, so now I poured in the sugar and water mixture into the egg whites, and now I'm just whipping away until the bowl is not hot anymore. That's when you put in the butter and vanilla. Okay, so now I'm going to put in my 1 pound of butter, so that's 1 stick. When all my butter is added. Alright, DFC gang, so this is my finished Italian meringue icing, and it came out good. So now what I'm gonna do now is I have this simple syrup, the same part water, same part sugar, and I'm just gonna brush it on to my cake. You don't want to put too much. Just gonna brush this all over the cake. And guys, look at this. My simple syrup is in my dad's Liverpool cup. Go Liverpool. Alright, now we're gonna put the frosting on top of this cake. So we're just gonna take some of the frosting and we're gonna put some on here. And this is nerve-wracking because I don't want to mess this up. Put some more. And now we're just gonna frost the top. Alright, DFC gang, so I put the icing on the top of the cake. And now see how all the buttercream is going to the side. That's what you want, because when you crumb coat and chill it, you don't want like a whole bunch of frosting on the side. So you're just gonna go around the side with all the excess buttercream. See, this is how you want it to look. The crumb coat is just to lock in all of the crumbs in the cake so that when you're frosting it, you don't see any crumbs poking out of it. My cake is all crumb coated and chilled, and it has a simple syrup over it. And now I have my red frosting and my white frosting. And keep in mind, this cake is for my dad, so I'm going to be putting red for Liverpool because that's his favorite soccer team. So I'm just icing around the bottom, and this is going to take a while because I have to do all around the sides. So I have the whole cake covered in red frosting, even though it looks like pink maybe on the camera, but it's red. And now I'm just going to take this white frosting and write a message to my dad on the top. And I'm going to come back to you guys when I have the writing on the cake. This is my cake. This is a big reveal, so here it is. So, my dad's favorite color is red and his favorite team is Liverpool. So I put El Pool, because that's my dad's favorite team. And the year is 2020, so it's El Pool 2020. And then I have a heart here for my dad, because obviously I love him. And then we have dad right here. And this is a cake, and I love it. I love how it came out. I mean, I really like this cake. So when my dad comes home, because he's not home yet, so when my dad comes home, we're going to see his reaction to his cake. Alright, DSC gang, so I want you guys to like the like button if you think I did a good job with my first cake. It was not a box cake, as you guys saw. It was not any like carton vanilla frosting. It was all from scratch, and I also decorated it. So yeah, this is my first ever cake from scratch, because usually I use box cakes, and I'm really proud of it actually. Comment down below how you think I did. And if you guys are soccer fans, I want you guys to comment your favorite team down below. So I just heard my dad's car pull up, and I'm gonna wait for him to come inside, and then we show him the cake. So yeah. Hello, Daddy.
How
Hi, Daddy. Happy Father's Day.
again?
Yes.
Thank you. What?
Okay, so I have a surprise for you.
What?
Yep.
What's the surprise?
It's in the kitchen here on the table.
Take off my shoes before your mother start telling me about that things on wear shoes in there. Oh.
Okay, come, Daddy.
Yo! How about this?
Me.
You may not believe that.
Yes, I did.
El Pool, and we have to win the league one of them day next week. So, I'm if you cut this?
Yeah. Or you want me to do it?
No, for your cake.
Okay.
Very nice.
You cut it.
Thank you, Mama.
Look on that.
Mama. I wish if you cut it, I can't cut off the Liverpool side, you know. I cut it. Right, yes, sir.
It was in the fridge, so it's firm.
Right, very firm. I'm gonna do, what kind of cake? I'm gonna do, you know me.
Vanilla.
Get Daddy a plate, Pookie.
Oh, yeah.
Vanilla.
Get your plate, Daddy.
Oh, Lord.
This is the revealer, Caden. Your masterpiece. See how it comes out.
Here you go, Dad.
These. A dinner me I eat, you go to a big old plate, yeah?
Somebody else could put theirs on there.
So she has her layers in it. Okay.
Yo, me want.
Here you go. Dad, you don't need a fork.
Yo, listen, not tell me that. I eat it. You always want like you want boss people.
Daddy, you don't need a fork. Oh my God. Try it and tell me how it tastes.
Honest opinion?
Yes. Don't tell me it tastes good just because I made it.
So. Alright. See what I go on here, so. But cake, man.
It's good?
Yeah, turn up.
Yeah.
I want that thing, yeah.
And is your favorite color red?
Yeah, the El Pool, yeah. Make sure when I eat, I don't know how to do it, but now cut this up.
Okay.
Part, yeah?
It tastes good?
I am mad at help you.
No, she didn't.
Really?
I made the whole thing from scratch. No box cake, no nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on with that thing, brother. Yeah, no more though, I'm hungry.
Too sweet?
No, man, it's good. Perfect. The woman thing.
Glad to say you like it, Daddy. This is the end of the video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we'll be back with another video. Bye-bye.